Right? There were technical problems this morning, but here we go. We learned this is a continuation of this speech that the Rebbe, excuse me, the Lubavitcher Rebbe gave in the end of 1991, Tafshin Nun Beit, and he's talking about Chanuka. And he says that Chanuka is a very deeply, deeply mystical holiday. In fact, it's much above being mystical. It's a holiday which is a godly holiday. God creates the mystical. And that is symbolized by the fact that on Hanukkah is stressed the idea of oil, which oil floats above everything, all the other liquids, but it also is, it permeates any sort of material thing that it's put on, it permeates. So that's something like the essence of God. On one hand, God is above everything, but on the other hand, God is found inside of everything. That's the idea of the secrets of the Torah, and that's exactly what the Greeks wanted to eliminate from Judaism. They wanted to do away with the godliness of Judaism. It was okay, the religious part is okay, the mystical part of Judaism, that's all right. The mystery is the occult, all these other secrets of Judaism, and that's okay. But the godliness is what they were opposed to. They oppose the godliness. And without Judaism, without godliness, so Judaism is nothing really special. It's just like all the other religions in the world. But the essence of Judaism is that it's not what do you call it? It's not a religion. It's called the true religion, Dad Emet. It's not in the religion in the sense of all the other religions. All the other religions in the world is an additional thing to life. It's optional. And Judaism is not an additional thing to life, and it's not optional. Life comes from Judaism. All the life in the world comes from Judaism. All the existence of all being comes from Judaism. What is Judaism? Judaism is simply the will and the wisdom of the Creator. Why the Creator is creating the whole world, that is expressed in Judaism, in the Torah. But that's the soul of the Torah. In fact, not just the soul of the Torah, but the inner soul of the Torah. In the soul of the Torah. And that's the whole idea of the Greeks. The Greeks, they wanted to say that there's nothing more real than you. You just, and the Jews really liked that idea. And there were a handful that said, no, it's not so. The message of the Holy Temple, the message of the Jewish people, the message of Judaism is that there is a creator that's creating us, and we aren't really real. Without the Creator, we aren't real. And with the Creator, we are infinitely more real than we can possibly imagine. And the Greeks wanted to say that exactly the opposite, that there's no such thing as a Creator, and that reality is what you see with your eyes. What you see with your eyes, or what you feel. So that was the big war. Most of the Jews agreed with the Greeks, but there was a handful that did not. And that's the idea of the oil that floats above everything. And even more, they found one bottle that was sealed with the seal of the high priest. With a high priest, that's this upper tremendous level of godliness which cannot be defiled. Okay, it says, this main idea of oil, what's happening? Oil and the uniqueness of oil, which is the secrets of the Torah. Now again, the secrets of the Torah is defined, and it's what's inside of, what's above our understanding. It's above normal understanding. But you can deal with it. It's secrets. It's mystical things that they're talking about the infiniteness of God, but you're bringing it sort of into understanding. That's secret. So in other words, it's above understanding. But the secrets of the secrets means that it's not above understanding. It's not even in the category of understanding at all. It's not in this category. It's like saying how much blue is in the number 54. It's two different things totally. But anyway, what is the sound of the word house? Not the word house. I'm making up the wrong thing. What is the sound of the color green? Right? Well, it's not colors and shades of different things. Okay, but here it's even more so. At least colors and numbers or whatever, it's sounds, they're in the same world. They're both creations. But here we're talking about the Creator of all. the creator of all. So this is above being a secret. God creates the secrets, but that's the essence of what the Jews are. That's what the essence of the Jews. That's the reason God created the Jews. That's what it means. The Jews are the sons of God, the servants of God. We're connected intrinsically with the essence of the creator. But the creator, that's his name. The main essence of what the creator is can only be expressed in this physical world. And that's called the secrets of the secrets. They bring in the essence of the creator, which is above being concealed. So what does that mean, above being concealed? What does it mean, above being concealed? It means it's not in the category of being concealed or revealed. It's pure existence. That's why we can say that God doesn't exist in any way that we know of it. Okay, this really completion of the idea of revealing the secrets of the secrets, in other words, the essence of God that creates all the secrets. This is in the miracle of the oil of Chanuka. And this was really revealed in its true way, and as we could really begin to appreciate it on Yutet Kislev. Yutet Kislev, which is, what is it, 65 days ago. Shabo, that in Yutet Kislev, that was the day when the first Rebbe of Chabad got out of prison. That's when he really began to teach Chassidut in a unlimited way. Yafutzu meine tachachutza. The Baal Shem Tov met with the Moshiach. It was Rosh Hashanah. Baal Shem Tov was 20-something years old. And he said, when are you going to come, Moshiach? And Moshiach said, when your deep teachings are spread out, when your well springs are spread out all over the world. The Baal Shem Tov and the teachings of Chassidut, that was the oil of the Torah, it shouldn't be kept private. It has to be, advertised. And that was Yutet Kislev. I know we had a power shortage before, and I was saying something there, and I was stopped in the middle of the sentence. I made a statement that about 400 years ago, all the Jews were religious, and that was the way it was since the giving of the Torah. There were times when there were breaks, like at the time of the Greeks and etc. But generally speaking, all the Jewish people did all the Torah. So someone asked, "That's ridiculous. How could you possibly say that?" And so I answered, "That's because Judaism is not an additional thing to a Jew. A Jew and Judaism are one. Judaism is the essence, soul of what a Jew is. That's why Jews are different from. That's where anti-Semitism comes from. That's why, unexplainable anti-Semitism comes from." And it's been going on for like 3,000 years. It's been going on since the time of Abraham. Why? Because Jews really are different. God chose us. God gave us the Torah. God called us his sons. God called us his servants. They had nothing to do with us. God chose us. And because of that, so then it ends up that the essence of what a Jew is God. And that's this oil of the oil. That's what the Greeks wanted to do. They wanted the Jews to be normal, and the Jews wanted to be normal, but they couldn't. They couldn't. But in order to make this come out, it required tremendous self-sacrifice. Tremendous self-sacrifice. That's called a hero. Also, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai said in the Zohar, "Shalom nitan reshut lagalot rak lechaverim levadam." The secrets of the Torah can only be revealed to certain special people. Rak bedorot achronim, only in the last generations now. Since, like the Arizal said, Arizal was like 400 years ago, 450 years ago, that only in these last generations is it permissible, and it is a commandment, it is a necessity to reveal this wisdom of how to connect the essence of God with the world, how to find the essence of God in the physical world. Until to reveal the inside of the Torah in Torah to Chassidut by means of the Baal Shem Tov and the Maggid of Mezrish's pupil, in Torah to Chassidut Chabad, in a way like the first Rebbe of Chabad, he really spread it out. He put it into books for everyone to read it, translated into, thanks to the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe, translated into who knows how many languages. Kolomar, in other words, in Chanuka, the Chanuka is stressed, the Iker Pul is the main thing of oil, the oil of the Torah. The the oil of the Torah. You have to learn the revealed parts of the Torah, which that's the main thing of learning the Talmud, learning laws, learning the Shulchan Aruch, learning Mishnah, learning the revealed parts of the Torah. That's the main thing of learning. Shenase Chadur, that it has to be permeated into a person's mind, the holiness of the Torah. Namely, when you learn the Torah, to understand that this is the wisdom of God, of your Creator. Toratcha, your Torah. That the Torah and the world are not two separate things. That the world and God are not two separate things. The world is a creation. The Torah is the essence of God. And when a Jew does it, it's even higher. The Chidush, the whole novel, that's the novelty of Yud Tet Kislev, basically the beginning of Chabad Chassidut, that this is the completion of the oil of the Torah, of Chanuka, that you can learn the secrets of the secrets in a way of learning, a main learning. You can make that as your main learning. It's not just an additional topic. Like you put salt on meat or something to make the meat. Chassidut does do that. But you can also learn the teachings of Chassidut to learn about God himself. You can learn about God. It gives you emotions about God. Love, fear. You can appreciate God more. You can appreciate the Torah more. But the essence of Chassidut is what they call self-sacrifice, to be totally given over to God, even in your mind, above understanding, with no thought whatsoever of remuneration, because there's nobody to give. You don't really exist. Is that I want? This is the main. In other words, you do what God wants to give God pleasure. That you can actually learn these deep secrets of the secrets in human intelligence. Like physical food that becomes flesh and blood. So in other words, your day-to-day life is nourished by an awareness that God is totally beyond and above any possibility of understanding. And that nourishes you. That idea of giving yourself totally, devoting yourself totally to the Creator and everything you do, and you have to do. You have to have a family, you have to have children, you have to have money. You can be rich, you can be whatever, you can be an artist, a musician, you can be productive, you can be a genius, you can be whatever, but everything is permeated with this feeling of the essence of God. Until this generation, until Chabad Chassidut, this is only relevant to people that were total tzaddikim. The reason is that only in our generations can we reveal these. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you have to go to your local Chabad house and ask him to teach you something. Or you can look it up also, the Tanya. But learning it in person with a person that's been impressed is much more, real than just reading it reading it online or whatever. But reading it online is also, this is the beginning. Shabbat Torah, this is the secrets of the secrets in the Torah, and now it's possible to learn it, understand it, and digest it so that it becomes a nourishment to your day-to-day life. Since there's more and more darkness in the world, and especially the darkness of the wisdom of the Greeks, because of they nurtured from the Torah in a way that's not proper. In other words, they used the wisdom of the Torah, but they misused it. Then it could be that you can forget the holiness of the Torah. You can forget the holiness of the Torah. Therefore, it's necessary to reveal that there has to be the oil of the Torah. Until Shenase Dvar Shemuchrach Kamos, until you need it, it becomes actually, nourishing, like food. The teachings of Chassidut become a necessity nowadays in our generation. Even though the previous generations was not given permission to reveal these deep ideas, just like oil, which you can't usually drink it or eat it, and it's even dangerous, it's harmful. Similarly also, and now but now you can. Similarly, in the last generations, that more there is darkness and confusion in the world. Therefore, there has to be more and more oil in the world, more secrets of the Torah revealed in order to counteract this darkness. There are several, blatant examples of this now in our time. In the previous Rebbe's father, he's the one that founded the yeshiva of Tomchei Tamim, Chabad. Why did he found the yeshivas of Chabad? That they sit every morning an hour, in the evening 1 hour, and they just learn Chassidut. Why? Because in his generation there was what's called mafitzei haskala. There were the spreading out of enlightenment, Jews that opposed the Torah, but they knew the Torah. And they used their own wisdom and their own charisma to lure thousands of young Jews away from the Torah, saying that the Torah is old-fashioned and that it takes away your ingenuity and your individuality. Because that what's called the haskala of the Torah, taking the Torah and making it into just another book in the library, and that's what we call there was a word for it, enlightened Jews did. So therefore, they realized they had to do something. The father of the previous Rebbe, the one, the fifth Lubavitcher Rebbe, he stood up and he made yeshivas Tomchei Tamimim. It's a yeshiva that in it we learn in a settled way the revealed Torah and also Chassidut. That completes the Torah in a way that Chassidut, the ideas of Chassidut could be understood just like you understand a topic in the revealed Torah. In other words, God can be a topic that you can sit and learn about. And all this was also added by means of, in other words, spreading out the teachings of Chassidut in the world to counteract the godlessness of the Enlightenment movement in Judaism, Spinoza and Mendelssohn and these people, Lilienthal. And from that morphed out also Zionism, right? That you could get along without God. Judaism was okay without God. You don't need God. You don't need. You can be a good Jew without keeping Torah, without doing commandments, and you can learn the Torah. You can be an expert in the Torah. The fifth Rebbe of Chabad, by spreading out the teachings of Chassidut, inspiring everyone to understand what God is and how close God is and how far God is, simultaneously, by means of this, at least he gave an alternative to that crooked way of thinking, that the Torah doesn't need God, Judaism doesn't need God. And the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe, the son of the fifth Rebbe of Chabad, he's the leader. When he made the yeshiva of Tomchei Tamimim and its branches in all of the world, so he spread out the teachings of Chassidut even more till this very day. And even more, and this is the main thing, that is added on, spreading out the teachings of teachings of Chassidut to the furthest places in the world by means of translating it. The previous Rebbe made sure that the teachings of Chassidut were translated into all these different languages. That many ideas in Torah Chassidut into the languages of the world, French, Spanish, Russian. And by means of this was made a completion of the revealing of the teaching of Chassidut, the light of Chanuka. That's the miracle of oil. That says that the lights of Chanuka can be put on the entrance of your house on the outside. Even when it's dark outside, that there's no more Talmudai, that there's no more rebellers in the streets. And by means of this, that the mind of this well springs of the inside of the Torah, which were revealed in Torah Chassidut, the oil of the Torah could come in a way, shall hafatza agam b'chutza, that it spread out to the ends of the world. In other words, even that the non-Jews can know how to define God properly, what God is properly. I mean, basically, when it comes down to all the religions are just attempts and genuine attempts to come close to God. They want to do what God says. They realize that there's God, but they don't know what God is. So they have to have something in the middle. a person, and they worship the Son of God, the servant of God, the ghost of God, the spirits of God. They worship all different gods, different people, different spirits, whatever, because they don't really have any way to understand what God really is. Comes along Chassidut and explains the oneness of God, that God creates all being constantly, that God creates the spiritual, that God cares about the physical world more than he does the spiritual worlds. Every human being is tremendously important to God in this physical world. Suddenly you start to see that God is not this big spiritual being that sits, the Wizard of Oz, sits far away, and that he's unapproachable. Exactly the opposite. God is infinitely more distant than what they think he is. On the other hand, he's infinitely close. That's like oil. Oil floats above everything and it permeates everything. So that's what the previous Rebbe did. He took the teachings of Chassidut, which is like oil, and he spread it out. Not that the oil should that like the lights of Chanuka. Not just that the oil should shine up the entrance of your house outside, but even more that the outside itself, the world itself, which is being created by God. There's only one God. That the world itself should announce and teach what really God is. The world itself. So that we feel the oneness of God. And that's the message of Judaism. Shema Yisrael, listen Jews, God is our God. Presently, God is just our God. But in the future, he's going to be the God of the whole entire world. The whole world will realize how precious they are in God's eyes that he's creating them. That's how Rashi explains that sentence, Shema Yisrael. And that's going to be done by means of the teachings of Chassidut, as we'll talk about more, God willing, tomorrow. And later on tonight, I'll make a story. I'll tell a story and say that I have places to go to. We have to light candles.